Hey guys, Zelonius here. Welcome to another video on the channel. We have another tactics video today, the 4-4-2. So the 4-4-2 is one I did a tactics video for at the start of the year, but I've not used as much this year, but I've had a lot of people asking me about it. It's always going to be one of the most balanced top formations in FIFA, so I wanted to give you an updated tactics video based on me using it. This was the team I used in Weekend League. I went 19-0. I gave the last game away because I'd already got the rank 1. I had Forlan and Al Owiron up front, but I sold them just to try not to lose too many coins on them. The rest of the team, though, was the exact same. For anyone interested, Yaya Toure, just as amazing as you'd expect. Just a decent upgrade on his base one. Freddie Lundberg was pretty decent out wide. This Frankie and Araujo feel amazing. Forlan and Al Owiron were really good. But up front, it's just, I struggle a bit to find a player top tier if he doesn't have 5-star skills or weak foot. But I did like them. Like I said, we went unbeaten in FUT Champs. And then I used quite a bad team, like a team barely worth anything in playoffs, using this same tactic to go 10-0. So I went 29-0 across my playoffs and FUT Champs with this tactic. The 4-4-2, I really like it. Do I like it as much as the 4-2-2? Because this is what I always get asked. Zell, is this going to be your new formation? What do you think of it compared to other tactics? I'll say from the start, I do prefer the 4-2-2 still. Let's have a look at the actual formation itself. The thing about the 4-4-2 that's better, and this might be like some people might want to use this because of this, like the 4-2-2 and 4-4-2 are so similar. I'm using the defensive version, the one with CDMs. I think CDMs just do more on FIFA. They are a lot better defensively, but then can still get forward. So I think you'd rather have, if you can have a formation with CDMs or centre mids, I'd prefer the CDMs. In the 4-4-2, the main difference with this and the 4-2-2 is very similar. It's just that you have left mid and right mid in this instead of Ram and Lam. On previous FIFAs, a left mid and right mid was better in my opinion, because left mid and right mid, they'd do a really good job, and it is still like this, but they would pull the fullbacks out and give you more space in the middle. The main benefit compared to the 4-2-2 of this formation is that the left mid and right mid are better at defending than the 4-2-2. The Lam and Ram are not going to be as good defensively as the left mid and right mid because they're further pushed up and they're a bit more central. The left mid and right mid in this formation, especially if your opponent doesn't attack quick, when you get into like 2 banks of 4 defending with your flat back 4 and your flat midfield 4, it is very hard for people to break you down, especially if you drag a striker back and make it even harder. But the problem that you have is in this formation with left mid and right mid, I feel like you need them on comeback on defense to make yourself really good defensively. But then the counter-attack's not quite as good as using a Lam and a Ram. Counter-attacking is really good on this FIFA with how through balls and lengthy players out wide are. So you don't get as good counter-attack in this formation. And then for me, in this formation, the Trivellas, which are so important on this game, they're good, but they're not as good, or not even really that close to being as good as the 4-2-2. So a lot of the meta best ways of playing on FIFA 23, I don't think are quite as good in the 4-4-2 as the 4-2-2. I still think it's a great formation. It's still really solid and balanced overall. It's still got the 2 strikers that are really nice up front. It's really hard to break down defensively. If you want a 4-2-2 that's just a bit more defensive, then this is a good way of playing it. But I'm always going to be honest. I'm never going to release a tactic video that I don't believe in, I don't think it's good. I do think this is really good. I just don't quite rate it up there with 4-2-2. So that's the pros and cons of this formation really. The tactic itself, anyone who's watched my tactics videos will know I pretty much religiously use balanced and direct passing when it comes to build-up play. Balanced build-up play for me just gives you a more variety of options, gives you more control over it. I only go to fast build-up when I'm going all-out press, really. Direct passing's OP. Simply put, it makes your strikers pin the centre-backs backwards, pushes them deeper, which means if you get a good bit of space or passing to strikers' feet, all you have to do is take one good touch, turn and score. Direct passing is very hard to defend against. The width I have at 60. I like to use the left mid and right mid to get a lot of width, and then it gives you more space to pass into the middle. Corners I'd have on 2 or 3. It's not too big a deal. Free kicks on 1. I don't think free kicks are that good on this year's game. For the defence, this is what I'm starting in for the most part, especially on the new patch where the stamina is a little bit more affected. I like to play balanced, and I go fairly low width, and I'm playing a bit lower depth just to deal with the through balls that are still really OP. You can go higher though. I don't think the difference between 45 to 60 really is that big, to be honest, on this game. For the instructions, stay forward on the 2 strikers. That's the only change I made. For the strikers, you ideally want at least a 4-star weak foot and skills. Having 5-star on either is really nice. I really do like 5-star skills on this game, particularly for my strikers. The ball roll scoop, the reverse elastico, the elastico, all these type of tricks, they're really important at breaking people down on a game where left stick dribbling's not good. Out wide, pace. Like, I'd say you can't have an explosive player up front or out wide on this game on new gen. On old gen, just use fast players. On new gen, controlled or lengthy players with high pace. I use comeback on defense, get into the box. 3-star weak foot's a lot more viable on this game out wide, especially with the outside of the foot shots, the travellas. You want ideally a left footer at the left side and a right footer on the right side. This team didn't have it. I had Zaha there, but he was still good. For my CDMs, I tried Frankie actually on deep line playmaker, and it wasn't massively noticeable compared to stick to position, but at times I would notice him pick up decent space. So yeah, I thought it was decent, but it doesn't seem to do too much really. For the defensive behaviour, cut passing lanes on both CDMs. I think that's really important. I'm using cover centre now. I feel like when they're not in cover centre, they just do some weird runs at times in terms of where they mark. So I'd rather them stay in the middle and be sturdy there. Stay back on the more defensive-minded CDM, and then balanced on the more attacking-minded one. Yaya did make some really good runs from deep. That was nice. I feel like if you have stay back or just 2 out-and-out defensive mids, it leaves you a little bit limited going forward. So it's nice to have one like that. I'm not using step up at the moment. I just feel like at times it catches me out, especially against good players with the through balls. I actually tried overlap on the fullback. That worked quite nice. Stay back while attacking overlap. They didn't really overlap often, but there was times where they'd do a really nice overlap, which would catch my opponent off guard. I actually saw that from a pro player called Zelonius. He used his 4-4-2. His tactic was a fair bit different to mine, but I got this overlap thing on the fullbacks for him, so shout out to him. And then for keeper, comes for crosses, sweeper keeper. And like most of my tactics, for my slightly more attacking, this is what I do if I'm like a goal or 2 down. I go press after possession loss, up the depth to give me the auto offside traps. And the instructions pretty much identical really. It's just upping to press after possession loss. That's the main difference I make, but it does make a huge difference. We're going to now show you some in-game clips of me attacking with the formation. I don't tend to really show much defensive clips in these videos because it's pretty much the same standard thing. Get your CDMs behind the ball. Manually cut passing lanes while using second man press. Keep your defensive shape. Switch your centre backs to mark through balls in behind. It doesn't really change too much for formations. I might have clips that show the defensive shape of the formation a bit, but it's more about how to attack in this formation and the attacking patterns, because that's what changes more in different formations. Let's get into some clips. Okay, here in this clip we have got a classic example of the 4-4-2 and its build up. It's annoying when the software does that, man. Okay, so there, the left mid and right mid, they still operate like you could honestly say this was a 4-2-2 if you didn't know any better. The left mid and right mid still do get involved. You can see there that Yaya Toure is way more advanced than Frankie de Jong, who's there. This is why I like having the CDMs, one on balance, one on stay back. This CDM here does help protect against counter-attacks. Also gives you an option further back if you need to retain possession. And I think it really, especially in a formation like this that doesn't have the cam to link your midfield and attack as much, the CDM who gets forward, this one here, he's only on bounce, so he's on literal get forward. But this one who will get forward more, gives you more link-up play between the players. So if you have them both on stay back, I just think it's too limited. So I'll go back there to Yaya Toure just to retain possession. Go to my fullback. Fullbacks are a key way of keeping the ball on the game. Just passing round. There, I do a first time pass because I feel like if I do it quick, I'm going to be able to break through this midfield line. You can see there, Yaya Toure making a run. My right mid's there, my left mid's here, occupying a bit of space. I go to forward in that position, and forward in this position here. Scoop turn. I maybe could have just passed that back, to be honest. You don't always see this in game. Here, I think he's probably going to expect me to turn there onto my right foot, because Forlan's right foot and 4-star weak foot. I'd run straight in a line. I'm surprised that worked, to be honest, but it did. And it's a nice, easy finish from there. So we'll watch it again. I'm spreading the ball around. I'm using the width the 4-4-2 offers. I'm using the centre mid to get forward. That creates more space elsewhere. And then the two strikers can link up together. Creates havoc in the box. Nice, easy goal. The 4-4-2 is very good for balanced attacking with lots of options. Okay, in this clip here, we are going to see the defensive shape of the formation and then the counter-attacking opportunities. So you can see here, my two strikers are sat a little bit further forward. They're set to stay forward. The flat midfield four there's the left mid, CDM, right mid, then the flat back four there. You can see here, I offside trap to push up. I know he's not going to make a pass at that point. Offside trap just stops my team from sitting too deep. I'm pressing with the CDMs there. Bit of a mistake from me, end up missing the ball. But there, I cover him well enough in the end. He's not going anywhere. And now, I see Zelonius making a run. When a player's put his arm out like that, and you can see that they're making the run behind, especially if you've got quick, lengthy players, it's really good. Zelonius not lengthy, but he has 99 pace. So I was like, I'm going to give it a test here. And look at the pace here. Pretty crazy from there. And then because he's not moved his keeper, across the goal there is always the best shot. And you can see here 16-0-0 was when I had the ball on the edge of my own box, and with pretty much one in-game minute I've gone from one end of the pitch to the other. The 4-4-2 is really good for this because you have left mid and right mid who can counter down the wing. You have the two strikers. It's very good at counter-attacking this formation. And counter-attacking is very good on FIFA 23. One of the big strengths of the counter-attack here is it's so defensively solid that you can be really hard to break down. People might feel like they have to keep the ball a bit more. And when they keep the ball, their team push up. And then as soon as you win the ball, you've got two strikers who can get in behind. You can do L1 runs to trigger it. And you get a goal like that. That was a very simple and easy goal, but it came from the strengths of the 4-4-2. Hopefully you guys liked this video. Hopefully it's helped you. I think the 4-4-2 is a really good tactic. Like I say, it's not my favourite, but I think it can go a long way to helping you get good results this FIFA. Helped me go 29-0 in my weekend league and playoffs. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for watching the video. As always, keep it spicy. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.